If you're wanting to create new habits, you need to get a sense of control over your limbic system. Hey, how you doing? I'm Meloncelli, and everything in this channel is dedicated to getting you into the flow state. This specific video is all about how to control your emotions. Now, I know there's a lot of videos out there on YouTube all about how to control your emotions. So I want to give you something that you won't find in those videos, okay? I'm going to give you something that's practical, that you can use pretty much today to be able to get a sense of control over what to do. You see, what happens is we follow a lot of patterns that we've created. We respond emotionally to certain things, and there's certain techniques that you can implement to overcome those strategies. However, sometimes you can't see when to apply those techniques, or you're too stressed out and too defensive for you to be able to implement those strategies. This here that I'm about to share with you will help you with that, okay? So, there is your amygdala. And your amygdala is inside your limbic system. What's that, you say? Well, that there houses your emotions. Think of this as like your emotional powerhouse, your center. All right, if this is agitated, if this is hijacked, then you're going to respond in a defensive manner, or you're going to respond in patterns that you've already done millions of times before. If you want to get a control over this, if you're wanting to create new habits, you need to get a sense of control over your limbic system, okay? So how do you do that? How do you get control over your limbic system? How do you stop following the same patterns that you've done before and create new ones? How do you create new ones and maintain consistency? This is how you get to do it. So your limbic system, underneath there, tickling that limbic system is your nervous system. Okay? With your nervous system, you have two basic branches, sympathetic and parasympathetic. Sympathetic, fight or flight. Parasympathetic, rest and digest. If the sympathetic nervous system is too active, it kind of acts like hooks onto your limbic system. It's kind of like pushing it all the time. It's making you respond in a hyper agitated way. Fight or flight. If that fight or flight system is really pissing this off, okay, you're going to react in a defensive manner. You're going to just continue with those repetitive cycles. So what you need to do is learn to activate your parasympathetic nervous system on a more consistent basis. Okay, now these two branches are constantly out working. But let's say in modern times, the way that we are today, society, everything will affect our nervous system. But let's say in general, we're more naturally in a sympathetic state, okay? So, we need to make sure that we work to create a more parasympathetic nervous system. Now, when we do that, when we become a bit more parasympathetic in a more consistent basis, it kind of unlocks this, okay? You create this gap, kind of, which will allow you to work with awareness. You see, to form a new habit, to implement a new step in your life, to be able to achieve a certain goals, you need awareness and you need control over your nervous system so that you have the ability to control your limbic system. Therefore, you get your ability to control your emotions. So if you think awareness, nervous system, okay, in the middle is the limbic system. If this is controlled, okay, if this is calm, if this is in a parasympathetic state, you can then use your awareness to decide what you're going to do. The signals of repetitive habits or defensive situations, whatever it may be, are still there. All this does is give you the control, the awareness to see these repetitive cycles and decide, do I go down this path or do I walk down this path? It gives you the sense of control, gives you the choice. Let's say that when your nervous system is in a more sympathetic state, you're acting emotionally, there is this sort of cloud that appears over their awareness, you can't really see what to do, okay? There is where you just do the same stuff over and over again. You need to get control over that. Okay, so how do you do that? How do you control your nervous system? I use the word control loosely, okay? How do you get it into a more parasympathetic state? Well, here's a few things over here. To generalize everything, okay, the number one thing is, and maybe from my previous videos, to find coherence in the 4 pillars of flow, okay? So basically that's physical, mental, emotional, material, right? Find the consistent growth mentality in those 4. That will straight away help calm this down. But let's say you've not seen that video. You want to, first of all, begin to track and work with your heart rate variability. Heart rate variability gives you like a snapshot of this situation here of your nervous system. Heart rate variability will tell you, if you take the reading in the morning, if your system's in a more parasympathetic state. You'll establish what's called a baseline score. That baseline score is what you work from the day. So if you wake up in the morning and your nervous system is stressed out, you have to really emphasize a more parasympathetic day to find a coherence again. Therefore, you will get control over this. Therefore, you will not be controlled and manipulated by habits and patterns you've done over the years and be emotional. Okay? Next thing is, track and monitor your sleep quality. Sleep done correctly, sounds crazy but true, done correctly helps here. Recovery, so making sure that your day is structured where it's not all excessive work. There is a sense of rest and digest throughout the day. I'll explain more of that shortly. Nutrition, certain foods have a sympathetic and parasympathetic response to your system. Think about coffee. Have a coffee, sympathetic, right? Your system gets quite agitated. Therefore, if you have too many coffees in the morning, and then you are, stepping into an environment where you have to have a sense of awareness, so you're not going to repeat certain behaviors or act in a certain manner, an emotional manner, then you're putting yourself on the back foot, right? Cold therapy. Cold therapy straight away kicks this guy into, it actually works on your vagus nerve, which then kicks into this guy here, okay? So cold therapy will help reset that. So for a dramatic reset, when you're really in a sort of tense situation, cold therapy, plunge pool, great fun. Then you can get a sense of control over your limbic system by using your awareness. Breathing exercises, when you focus on the exhalation of your breath, especially through your nose, you'll stimulate your parasympathetic nervous system. Okay, so that's how you get control over your nervous system. What about awareness? How do you train that? Well, meditation. Specific meditations where you're observing what's going on, not following anything that's going on, but observing what's going on. Breathing exercises. Again, back onto the other side, emphasizing exhalation, but tracking and following your breath can be a sense of control over that and will allow you to develop the awareness that you want to. And then flow games are like activities like juggling and other activities that pull you into the present moment, pull you into the now. Now, this here is great. This here is excellent information. You still need to make the decision. Okay, you still need to make the choice. All this does is help you, see the light, if you like. You still have your awareness to be working with. You still need to calm your nervous system. This just gives you a sense of control over here, and you can decide what you do. Do you go left, do you go right, do you go straight on? Where do you go? You have to make that decision. Now, the one thing that I want to let you know about that is that If you can imagine, there's a natural ebb and flow to your nervous system. There's peaks and troughs throughout the day where you're fully active and your body needs to recharge and replenish. That happens throughout the day. Now let's say that there's points throughout your day where everything's a wee bit depleted. If you're already, your system is asking to be recharged and replenished, but you're demanding something out of it, this is where you're going to get this fog of confusion here, this blockage is going to happen. This is where this is going to be really stimulated, and you're going to make it hard for yourself. And then when you repeat that, and you do certain things, certain tasks, certain activities, when your nervous system is calm and relaxed, when your nervous system needs to be recharged and replenished, or your whole system, your whole body needs to be recharged and replenished, and you then trying to do a very demanding task for you, meaning if you're trying to form a new habit, and you're trying to form a new habit when you're here, you're really putting yourself on the back foot. So what I'd advise you to do is pay attention to your system's natural peaks and troughs throughout the day, okay? And work with this. When you marry this here with what's called your ultradian rhythm, your system's natural ebb and flow, you will unlock your potential dramatically. Having a sense of control, having a sense of, being able to form new habits that are going to be coherent to the direction, the goal that you want to achieve is majorly important. And how you do that is by implementing this technique, okay? I know this was useful to you. I must have been. If you found it useful, give me a big thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please subscribe, and I will deliver more content like this to get you into the flow state. Thanks for listening. Ciao.